This man is one of the hottest comedians in Minnesota. He actually is a regular at Acme Comedy Company. He is open for the likes of Pete Lee and some of the biggest comics you've ever seen, you guys. He's so funny, and he's a dear friend of mine. Please give a warm St. Cloud welcome to Ira Ford, everybody.
Are you ready? All right. I'm like caught between two openers, so I'm going to do them both. You guys are just going to sit there and accept them. Okay? I think the beginning of the alphabet at least, sounds like a dude from New York trying to show you some shit. You know? Like, hey, B, see these? Second one. You ever wonder what a blind person's reaction would be if they felt an ugly person's face? Because they see it with their hands, right? I think it would be like my reaction to touching the stove that I thought was on but was really off the whole time, you know? It's like, shit! Oh, it's not that bad. I didn't know how poor I was until like I saw a picture a few years ago of me as a child. My aunt showed me the picture and I was like happy and like wearing my favorite football shirt, you know? It was blue and had white stripes going down it, and it said the word football. I was too poor to afford a team. my homeboy down the street, like, I could have been like him. His shirt said sport. Oh, man. So, I was in the mall the other day and I had to use the bathroom. Number one, if you're curious. And I find the bathroom and I go there and I wash my hands and I go to the urinal. The urinal. The urinal. I wash my hands first because what's under your clothes is the cleanest part of your body. So why fuck that up, you know? So I get ready to go and I pull them out and I start going fire hose. And I pee like this with my hands on my hips because my dick is big and I don't need to aim it. And while I'm doing this, the person behind me in the stall is like unbuckling, so I'm guessing he's like going to doot. So he's in the right spot to do it, so fuck it, you know? And while he's getting ready to go, his phone rings and he answers it and proceeds to take the most violent shit I've ever heard anybody take in my fucking life on the phone. And he was like, oh, what's up, man? We just came from the movies. So I get done and I turn around and I get jealous. Because I suffer from what you call a bashful asshole. That means I can't poop anywhere all willy-nilly like a normal person. I have to go home or go to another spot and never go there again. You know? I don't know. Yeah, I think I know how I got like this. I'll tell you. I was in middle school, and I didn't know I was lactose intolerant. And it was before school, so it was like breakfast. I had like 2 bowls of my favorite cereal, fucking Cookie Crisp. Drink the milk. Went to fucking class. And right in the middle of class, my body was like, no. This has to go immediately. So I raised my hand, and the teacher, Miss Lewis, I'll never forget her name, because she's a bitch, you know? I raised my hand, and she was like, what do you need, Ira? And I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. It's kind of an emergency, you know? And she was like, we're going to go in as a class in 5 minutes. So you got to sit there and wait for 5 minutes. And I was like, no guarantees, you know? So 5 minutes goes by, and we as a class don't move. So I get up, walk to the exit of the classroom, and she says, where are you going? And I was like, to the bathroom. And I said, we're going to go in 5 minutes. So sit down for an additional 5 minutes. She's a bitch, you know? And I was like, no, I'm going to the bathroom. And she says, if you go to the bathroom, if you leave this classroom, and you're suspended. And I was like, you're going to have to suspend me, because I'm not going to spend the rest of the school year being called Dookie Boy or Shitty Britches or anything these kids can make up. So I go to the bathroom, and I'm like enjoying the relief. And I'm like cleaning up. And Miss Lewis, you know, not Mrs. Lewis, because no man could have her, you know? She'd die alone with those fucking cats and that rouge makeup. So she lets the class out, and the male classmates walk in there, and they're immediately like, it smells like shit in here. So I raise my feet up, and one of them's like, can you believe Miss Lewis really suspended Ira? And I was like, she suspended me? And they were like, we knew it was you in there. Open this door, and like tried to climb over and like watch me. So that's where my bashful asshole comes from. Childhood trauma. Any parents in here, make some noise. Yeah. Did you get what you wanted? Oh, man. You know, they're not here. I have a daughter, and I was teaching her how to ride a bike, and she learned how to ride a bike in one day for this joke. And she started off on training wheels. You know what I mean? She got the gist of that, so I took them off, let her ride on 2 wheels. She fell over a couple times, but, you know, that comes with learning. But, I mean, she got her balance, and she learned how to ride a bike. And I was letting her have fun, and the sun was going down, and I had to make dinner. So, you know, ride time's over. So I was like, yo, come in the house. I have to make you dinner. And she said, no. And I was like, come again? And she said, no, I just learned how to ride my bike. Let me have fun and ride my bike. And I was like, yeah, no, you're 6 years old. This is Maryland. I mean, I'm from Maryland. this is Maryland, and I don't trust like that. You're coming with me. And she looked down at the ground, and she said, I wish I had a different dad. I know, I was there, right? And like, I'm petty, right? So I looked at her and I said, I wish you were a fucking boy. In my head, though. In my head. I'm not a fucking monster, you know? Oh, man. I know my level of pettiness would destroy a 6-year-old's world, you know? So instead of saying that, I grabbed her by the arm, grabbed the bike, and we went inside and had a lovely spaghetti dinner. And she called me a bad parent after that. And I was like, yo, I made you spaghetti. I made this bitch fucking Texas toast with the fucking cheese on top. The good kind. And I'm a bad parent? I'll take it. I'll take being a bad parent because you can learn things from bad parents. You know who you can't learn anything from? Transparents. No, not like Ghost Dad, not like Caitlyn, you know? Ghost Dad, he's never there, he's transparent and shit. Not today, cancel culture. Oh, shit. That was a close one. So, I got these like skinny jeans, right? And I like them, but I'm not a fan of them. I like the way they look and feel on my skin, but I'm not a fan of them because I have to like sit down and tug the ankle part to take them off. And depending on how thick my socks are, I have to take my socks off before I take my fucking pants off. Makes it really awkward when I'm having sex. You know? I have to take my socks off, sit down, struggle with these motherfucking pants to the point of exhaustion. I'm like beading sweat. I finally get the pants off, put my fucking socks back on. It's not because I'm black, it's because I'm uncomfortable with my feet, you know? Besides, I have to have something to match my watch and fitted hat. That is because I'm black. Fuck you. Round of applause. Who likes oysters in here? There's always a few of you. I don't like oysters at all. I believe if you can eat oysters, you should have 0 problems with swallowing cum. Think about it. Slimy, salty, the same thing, you know? But I am progressive in my thinking, so I do keep a side of lime juice and saltines on my bedstand. Tabasco in the drawer if you're feeling freaky, you know? A guy got offended and came up to me after the show, and he was like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do now about oysters? I can't even have them without thinking about cum. I can tell. I'm offended." So, I gotta say this. If I offended anybody from that oyster joke, I'll tell you the same thing I told him. Suck a dick. You just might like it, you know? I remember now. So, childhood fears. Fucking like, I ask myself questions. You know, who do I look like more, my mom or my dad? Who do I have mannerisms more like, my mom or my dad? And I had to ask myself the hardest question a person can ask themselves. was like, who do I fuck like? My mom or my dad? You mean, like, I heard my parents having sex. Not together, you know, separately. I mean, I was there when the band broke up. It was like, but they were fucking solo workers, you know? But they're both in it for the pleasure thing, but I hope I don't fuck like my dad. Because he sounds like an old man. Even when he was younger, he sounded like an old man verbally enjoying a bowl of oatmeal. And then when he got closer to climax, when he get faster, That's why, like, I had fucking sex in silence. Because I don't want to find out that I fuck like that. Like, yo, I'm fucking super awkward to fucking, like, talk to while having sex in general because of that reason, you know? It's like, you know, like, I don't care if you moan and have fun, you know? Just don't talk to me, you know? You know, like, I'm not weird, I would, like, choke you and shit, but, you know, leave me out of your fucking... I got work to do, you know? I'll give you an example. A girl I was seeing a while back, she went away on vacation, and while we were seeing each other, she went away on vacation, and she came back, and she called me, and we linked up. And we had, like, a good time, and it was, like, around the middle of our sexual experience. And she's like, I masturbated to you while I was on vacation. Because I was back there, right? So I was like, great. Now I have to talk to her, you know? And by the way, this is like a shitty example about how I fuck, but here we are, you know? So I was like, how was it? And without missing a beat, she turned around and was like, it was all right. Okie dokie. Nothing to write home about. Just don't talk to me, you know? You'll stay wetter or whatever. So, I don't know, men who shave, make some noise. Where you at? Let me see you. All right. It's just me? I cut myself shaving recently, you know. I usually would ask a crowd, what would they do? But you're all fucking burly men with full beards. You guys, right there. Oh, fucking four manly men, fucking bounty tough. I heard a lot of things like to do after to remedy shaving, cutting yourself. You got it. You know, like rinse it off, use napkins and, you know, apply pressure, never do it again. Somebody said cry in the shower. I don't know, man. I just wear red underwear, you know? Seems to do the trick. When you cut yourself shaving. That's a manscaping joke. If you're not laughing, you're part of the problem. Treat these ladies. I can't come unless I know he's a man but looks like a boy downstairs. I have a dog. Any dog people in here? Woo! Yeah. He's not my dog. He came with a girlfriend, you know? Not his own, like mine, you know? And I think he's dumb. He's a little Boston Terrier. His name is Wheezy. And when he like goes to sit down, like he sprawls his like hind legs out like some humanoid type weird. Ugh. It's not funny. It's just worth mentioning, you know. I don't like it. I think he's dumb though, because I'll give you an example. I dropped some meat on the ground, and I was like, I'm not going to eat that. Here, Wheezy, you can have that. And he came over and had it, and proceeded to lick the ground where the meat fell for like 10, 15 seconds. And I looked at him and I was like, pathetic. You know you have a full bowl of food right there. And then he farted and scared himself and ran off. And like my girlfriend, she's scared to walk him at night because we have owls in our neighborhood and they don't get along or something like that. And she said, what would I do without my poor little Wheezy baby? What if he gets swooped up and eaten? And in the same token, it costs us $700 every year to keep this little motherfucker alive because he's allergic to the fucking summertime. What? I was like, yo, I'll pay the owl $250. Get rid of this annual problem of ours. Oh, man. I'm not good at transitions or segues or whatever, because I smoke a lot of weed. So, that being said, I smoke a lot of weed. And I think about things like mind-blowing, life-altering things when I smoke weed. Like gnats. You know the gnats that fly around outside? Gnats? Why when they're outside, they're called gnats, but when they're inside, they're called fruit flies? What? What? Crazy. Fish have sex in the water, right? Is that why the sea is so salty?
Oh my God.
Rib condoms. Don't taste like ribs? I'm not saying that for personal experience. You know, I just never see him at any barbecues or on any food menus or shit. He's like, check it out, the McRib this bag, you know? So, I smoke a lot of weed. And I was rolling a joint in my house, and I accidentally dropped the joint, and the weed fell out of the joint and into the carpet. And I have nugs like on the table. I smoke a lot of weed. Nugs on the table, full jars of weed. And instead of like getting new weed, I got on my hands and knees and dug into the carpet, trying to retrieve this fallen weed. like a fucking fiend. And as I'm doing this, I feel like this gaze on my forehead, and I look up, and it's Wheezy staring at me. He's like, pathetic. You know you have a full jar of weed right there? Then he farted and scared himself and ran off. And all was right with the world. Oh, man. Round of applause. Anybody ever had a bad day? That should be everybody, yes. I had a bad day once. I'll tell you about it. It was September 6th, 2018. It was a good Friday afternoon, 1:09 p.m. Sun was out, white people were raging at the lake, drinking White Claw, and a doctor stuck 2 fingers up my bum. I don't know why I say it like that, like I'm all of a sudden British when I say something super embarrassing, but here we are. He got 2 fingers in it, and he did like this claw thing. Like he was trying to grab the last pill out of the bottom of the bottle, you know? And he like treated my asshole like a car ignition and like tried to start it with vigor, like. I came immediately, but I didn't like it. I was not a fan of that shit at all. And the doctor gets done back there, and I turn around and he's like, "Hey man, you like basketball?" And he like flicks his glove in the fucking trash can. I was like, "Yo, that's not even professional. You know, like, it's not even basketball. You got to ball it up and say Kobe or something." And he sits down and he says the most pimp shit I've ever heard a doctor say in my fucking life. He's like, "You can get dressed now." I was like, all right. So, I mean, like, he's sitting there staring me in my face, and I'm looking at him and his, and I'm like getting dressed, and I'm like pulling my pants up. I'm like, "You gonna call me, right?" For the results. For the results. Not because you made me come. So, do you guys like impressions?
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it for you 7. The rest of you guys just sit there and stare at me, I guess. I'm gonna do them regardless. This first impression is Dave Chappelle in a room full of transgender people. All right. Help! That's it. Help me! This next one is what I call a room splitter. But seeing how we're in St. Cloud, we'll see how this goes. This is a closeted racist, right? Alone is in his or her room, trying to think of ways to prove that he or she is not racist. All right? Fuck. How do I prove prove to these niggers that I'm not racist. That's it. If you're not laughing, you're part of the problem, right? Had that conversation earlier today. Like, how'd you know, dog? Oh, shit. Here's a fun fact. I think it's funny, but it's actually a factual fact that you can take home to your friends and family and co-workers. Probably not them, but whatever. Did you know a hand job from a deaf person? Technically a blow job. Because they talk with their hands. It's the one time you can say, spit in your mouth. I can say that because my sister is gay. So. Oh, man. So, I'm not a misogynist or anything. I don't like subjectify women or objectify women, whatever fits in that sentence. I'm not a linguistics major either, you know? But whatever fits in that sentence, I don't do that to women or men. But walking across the street from me, I was waiting on the bus, and walking across the street from me, towards me though, was this girl with like huge, like, before I get into this, breast, titty balls, fun bags, sweater puppies, fucking boxing bags, speed balls, whatever. Whatever cute names you have for your girls, she didn't have these. She had tits. Like, comically sized tits. And I was like, damn. Why does she not have any arms, you know? Because they were cut down like both sides, like evenly on the, I mean, like to her shoulders and shit. And I was like, well, I have questions now, you know? Like, how did she lose her arms? Was she born like that, or was she like sitting Jesus Christ out on some train tracks or whatever? Like, how did she live day to day? How did she get dressed? How did she put a bra on those hilariously sized tits? You know? Like, what the fuck? How, why, what, how, you know? And she got closer to me, and it wasn't a girl at all. It was a guy with long hair and his arms in his shirt. I was like, oh, that makes more sense than what the fuck I was thinking. Got on the bus and went to work. I have a story. Like I said, you know about my bashful asshole. I have to go home or go somewhere and never go there again. This was one of those cases where I was too far from home, so I had to burn someplace off a map. And it was the Holiday in Northeast with the White Castle attached to it. If anybody's ever been there, that's where it is. And somebody's in the stall already, and there's one stall. So I really have to go, so I'm like just chilling. I mean, just chilling. Not going anywhere, and like kind of like pacing. And a guy walks in, and he sees me pacing, and he was like, what the fuck are you pacing around in the bathroom for? And I was like, I need to use the stall. There's somebody in there. I'm just waiting for him to come out. And he overhears us talking, and he says, I'm coming, I'm coming. And the whole time, like, this is going on, and the times before this was going on, all I can hear is him like with bottles, and it sounds like he's a mixologist back there, like studying for a class or something. And he's like, I'm coming. I mean, like, I'll be a minute. I didn't say how long I'd be, like saying like crazy shit too. So I was like, I mean, like sit on the sink and relieve some pressure. And eventually he comes out, so I stand up, and he has a backpack on, and he has like in his hand the biggest bottle of Woodford Reserve I've ever seen. And I was like, damn, you know, excuse me, you know, I got to get in there. And I get in there, lock the door, sit down, and he just stands there and waits. And as you know, I have that fucking trauma thing, right? So we are at a Mexican standoff. My biggest fear is he's gonna be like, oh, nigga, you just thinking of shit? I got class in 30 minutes, I gotta study for it. And instead of him doing that, he's like just rudely starts conversations with people that like are using the bathroom. And like the last one he talked to was this, I'm assuming it was a white guy. From the sound of his voice, he sounded like a white guy. You know I'm black by the sound of my voice, right? And you're not fucking blind, right? But, I mean, I couldn't see him, so he sounded like a white guy, and the dude was like, what's up? And the guy was like, hello, how you doing? And he was like, what did you say to me? And the white guy was like, what? And he was like, say another word to me and I'll punch you in the face. And I was like, oh, this is getting good. And I guess he takes his book bag off and reaches in there and he pulls out what I assume to be a gun because I heard it cock. He was like, click, click. You hear this motherfucker? Oh, yeah, say one more word to me and I'll shoot you dead in this bathroom. And I forgot about my bashful asshole, you guys. Oh, that shit was so tense. It was so tense. All you could hear was me. He was like, and they laughed. The guy with the gun definitely laughed. I don't know what the victim did, but they just left. My bashful asshole stopped a fucking homicide, guys. What the fuck? That's fucking crazy. Oh, man. So, I don't know. I have a girlfriend. Let's talk about that. I love her. Love her. Right? Right?
Yeah.
Whatever. I love her. She's good for comedy at least, you know? She likes to play this game, Would You Love Me If? And I think all ladies in relationships play this game. She's like, would you love me if I had half of my face melted? And I was like, well, we met on Bumble, so no. You wouldn't even pass the first test. Swipe left. She's like, damn. Well, would you love me if I had a hump on my back and walk with a limp like Quasimodo? And I was like, unless you can disguise that shit year round, no, you know, I'm shallow. And she said, well, what if we were at some something special for you, like a comedy event, you know, you're taping a special or something like that, and I come up to you, and I sharded myself. Would you love me then? I was like, yeah, it's nothing but a little bit of shit, you know? The best thing I could do was give you the keys and tell you to go, you know? Take a shower or something, you know? And she says, that's sweet. I probably would go because I would be so embarrassed. I was like, no shit you would go, you know? Who would stay, you know? He's like, babe, I just sharded. It's everywhere behind me. I was like, oh, just like, word, do you want the keys to go change and shower and shit? He's like, no. I just wanted to tell you. I'm gonna sit in these seats. It's fucking getting stupid. It's funny. I think time changes everything, you know? Like back in the 1920s, French kissing was considered taboo. Now I can walk into any Starbucks and overhear two girls openly talk about how they got their ass ate last night. You know? True shit, you know? In the same time, the 1920s, Tiptoe Through the Tulips was a banger. You know what I mean? It was like, anybody know that, Jim? You know what I mean? It was a banger. It was like playing on everybody's like fucking speaker box or whatever they listened to music to back then. And like, it was like Billboard topping. It was like phenomenal song. It was a fucking first song with lyrics, you know? Don't quote me on that. But it was a banger. And now they use it to scare motherfuckers in horror movies, you know? Like Insidious and shit. And that makes me think, 80, 90 years from now, are horror movies gonna come out and the scary part's about to happen, and the music comes on, it's like, somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me. It's like, what the fuck? Did you hear that sound, my nigga? I'm scared as shit. I can't go to sleep tonight. What's that motherfucker's name? Smash Mouth? Fuck that guy. You know? It's a revolving door, man. It's fucking. I chose that song, and I don't know. It was either that or Party Up by DMX. But, Party Up would, like, seem fitting for a horror movie. It's like, y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. All right. I was going through a workshop with a friend of mine, and his bit was about ghost. And the second he said ghost, I stopped paying attention to him immediately because I got lost in my head thinking about Ghostbusters. And not the movie Ghostbusters, but the song Ghostbusters. You know? It's like, not even like the whole song, it was like a snippet of the, he was like, busting makes me feel good. And that brought me back to a story. I had a friend with benefits, and it was around the beneficiary time. And I was like, do you want to go back to my house and do what we do best? And she was like, sure, just let me clock off of work. And she worked at a cigar shop, so her body smelled like cigars all the time. And she drank a lot. Whoop. And you know when you drink a lot, how your breath starts to smell like puke? She had all that going on with her right then and there. But I was drunk too. I'm not a fucking saint. So she clocks off of work. We go back to my house, and I get on top of her because I'm a rebel like that. I like to have sex good old missionary style, the way the Lord intends. And the smell of her body and her breath started to waft in my nostrils. And I was like, this isn't going to be good. I'm going to throw up. But I didn't throw up on her. No. Because I'm a fucking gentleman. I went outside and I threw up. And she immediately followed me to try to make me feel better and shit. She was like, don't worry, it happens to the best of us. It's even happened to me once or twice. And I was like, yeah, no shit, you know? And she asked me a crazy question. She said, did you throw up because of me? And I was like, yeah, 100% because of you. If you weren't here, I would have caught the spins and went to sleep, you know? She said, damn, that's fucked up. Well, do you still want to do it? And I said, you just saw me throw up. I didn't even brush my teeth. You didn't brush your teeth. Your body still smells the same. Of course I want to still do it, you know? You know why? Because busting makes me feel good. Oh, shit. Yeah, man, fucking busting nuts is awesome. It's like, I want to come so hard that, like, I pull something. Ah! That was for the fellas. So, I'm not a fan of big butts. Let me explain. When somebody says they are not something but, that's a big butt to me. And with that being said, I'm not homophobic, but I don't see how far into their lifestyle I have to play to prove I'm not, you know? Like, I'll give you an example. A guy offered me $20 to suck my dick. And I was like, I respectfully decline, sir. I had a hat on and shit. And I was like, I respectfully decline, sir. And he's like, got mad at me and called me a homophobe. I was like, that's not how that works, you know? I have to say some shit, you know? And he was like, what, are you homophobic? You only suck your dick? And I was like, yo, it's not that, but being straight is not a choice. I was born this way, you know? What would you do?
Not suck his dick.
That wasn't even an option. I wasn't going to suck his dick either, you know? I didn't know what to do, so I just got out the car, you know? This happened to me on the bus. Not that, but this. I was getting on the bus, and in the back of the bus were two guys verbally shaming a transgender person. And I'm not like about that bully life, no matter who's it's happening to. I don't like it. I don't want to be around it. So I got on the bus, sat next to the girl, and leaned across the aisle and was like, yo, you should watch your fucking mouth. She's a person. She has ears and shit. She can probably hear all the shit you're talking. And usually the audience will like applaud that, but St. Cloud, right? And one of them gets upset with me. And he was like, what, are you her fucking boyfriend or something? And I was like, yo, what if I am? What are you going to do to me? Ended the whole conversation. Once again, applause, St. Cloud, you know the deal. And me speaking up for her, she finds her voice and she says, yeah, that's my man. We're going to go back to my house and I'm going to suck his dick and swallow the cum from his dick. And I was like, whoa, that's too much, you know? Much too much. I had that shit handled, you know? I say all that to say this. At the end of the day, I'm not homophobic and I'm not transphobic. But she should have shut the fuck up, you know? Because I am sexist. You know what I like to do for fun? I'll tell you.
Read.
No. Reading makes me a sleepy boy. I went on a date to the first Born Identity movie, and the first 10 minutes was like in like France or something, and subtitles came on, and I didn't last, you know? I fell asleep in the first 10 minutes fucking trying to read a movie. I'll tell you what I do for fun. I like to get dressed in anything, you know, anything. Go to any bar, you know, stand out front, smoke cigarettes, and let people hand me their IDs. Because they all think I work there, right? It's funny, that works everywhere but the bank. They know why I'm there. So, we've been through a lot tonight. I think I trust you guys. The first time I did coke, I was headed to a bar. It was dollar beer night at this bar. And I was like, who can pass out dollar beers? And I was riding in the passenger seat. My friend at the time was driving, and there was a cop following us. I don't know how long he was following us for real, but anytime a cop is behind me, I feel like it's forever, you know? So it could have been like 5 seconds, it could have been like 15 minutes, you know? But I was like, I saw the cop, and I was like, guaranteed he's gonna pull us over. And right after I said that, his fucking cherries lit up, his sirens blared, and I was like, don't pull over just yet. I have an 8-ball of cocaine in my pocket, you know? I used to sell drugs, surprise. And before I sold coke, I sold weed, and I was brand new to selling coke. And I used to think it was the same process, just open the bag up, eat the drugs, have a good time like 45 minutes later. That was not the case with cocaine, you know? The second that this shit hit my tongue, I was high immediately. It was so fucking fast. It was so fast. And like, I couldn't feel anything under my nose. My heart was beating like 1,000 miles a minute. I felt like doing a robot for like 15 hours. And the cop drove around us. Let me repeat that. The cop drove around us. And I had what you call a problem. I was like, yo, I've never done this drug before, especially this quantity of pure cocaine. I'm scared. What are we gonna do? So we just went to the bar. Dollar beer nights, dog, and I was thirsty. I was so fucking thirsty. Oh. I gotta come up with a better ending to that joke. But there are no bums in fucking real life. Oh, man. So, I don't know, man. Before I found, like, the one I'm with, I was out in these streets, man. like dating around and like, you know, when you think you found the one and shit like that. You know, I'm not from here. Like I said, I'm from Maryland, and I moved here in 2016, and I got lonely because I don't know anybody up here. You know, I didn't know anybody. And as one does, one resorts to online dating. You know? And I thought I found the one. Because, I mean, like, you know when you think you found the one because they hold similar traits that you hold near and dear to your heart? This girl was a fucking asshole, you know? Just like Daddy. And I knew she was an asshole because she went to the state fair 2 days in a row. That doesn't make her an asshole, I'm just saying, you know? But she went to the state fair, and I've never been. So she calls me when she gets back the first day, and I'm like, yo, I mean, how was it? What did you do? What did you, beers did you try? What rides did you go on? And she was like, babe, it's suffocating at times. It's overwhelming. I can't go more than 5 feet without getting hit on left and right. And like I said, I'm an asshole, you know? So I said, you don't look that good to get hit on every 5 feet, left and right. And she took that. And we got off the phone, and she went to the state fair the next day, and she got hit on, you know? You know how I know? Because every time a motherfucker asked for her phone number, she would give him mine. And I'm at work, my phone's blowing up. Hey, it's Paul from the fair. Hey, it's Todd from the fair. Hey, it's fucking Paul from the fair. She met 2 Pauls in 1 day? Fuck. I've been alive a long ass time. I know 5 Pauls, and I met 2 of them on the same day, you know? Ain't that a bitch? So she proved her point. I thought it was fucking a match made in heaven. I was like, she's an asshole just like me. But, you know, it didn't work out. At the end of the day, though, I'm a comic. So I have to fuck with these guys, you know? And he's like, hey, Paul, like, second Paul. First Paul's like much too much. He was like, hey, Paul, I didn't think you would text me. I mean, like, how you doing? How you feel? And he said, I'd feel better if I had some nudes from you. Bet. Send him a picture of my dick, right? Hashtag she's not that into you, you know? I miss her. It's like, I should have stuck with her for comical reasons, you know, in general. I mean, like, her name was Katie, you know. Her name still is Katie. She's not dead or anything. Her name is Katie, and she's black. And I'm Ira, and I'm black. It's like a 1950s sitcom, you know. It's Ira and Katie, the unexpected blacks. Every episode is the manager like, what? I wasn't going to hire you because you were Jewish. One more impression. It's like my last one, but it's not my best one. It's like my last one. It's the spicy meatball. That wasn't it. It's my second to last one. It's an impression of a guy from New York who is really adamant about showing off his 80s rock and roll collection. You know? Hey, B, CDs, ACDC, CDs. Say that 5 times fast. Dating is hard. My boss got engaged recently, and I was like, how did you get asked? And she was like, well, at the state fair. And I was like, that's really dumb, you know? Why the state fair? And she was like, that's the first place we kissed. And I was like, that's even dumber, you know? He was like, I could kiss anybody I love and not remember where, I mean, the first place. It's like, you. Where's the first place you kissed your grandmother? And don't say like shit, weird shit like on her pussy or nothing. Like, on the cheek? Where in the world were you? You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. You love the shit out your grandmother, you know? And, you know what I think is special? Fucking. Getting your dick wet. But you can't propose to the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, depending on the first place you fucked, because it might be a little sketchy. You know, you fucking have to spice it up a little bit. And it's like, come on, babe, I'm taking you to a dinner and a movie. And the movie's fucking great, Expendables 17. And the conversation at dinner is on fire. It's like you first fell in love, you know, like you're getting those butterflies again. And he's like, come on, babe, put this blindfold on. I'm gonna take you somewhere special. And she puts the blindfold on, gets in the car, and they drive to some field. And she gets out the car and she hears a helicopter flying overhead. And she's like, oh shit, my man loves me. You know, that's her because I'm killer at impressions. And the helicopter drops something off and flies off into the distance. And he says, you can take your blindfold off now. And she takes her blindfold off. She's like, is that? He's like, yes, that's the porta potty I fucked you in on the first date. I went all out for you, babe. Will you marry me? What if she says yes? What if she says yes? He's like, yo, I knew from that first date when you were hitting it from the back and I was looking at that blue liquid with that piece of shit floating on and that one price toilet paper covering it up, that you were the one. Yes, I will marry you. He's like, I'm glad you said that. You can come out now. He's like, Mom, Dad, the fuck are you doing in the porta potty? I'm Ira Ford. Have a good night.